Creationists argue that something doesn't come from nothing. God had to create everything there is. But when you ask them where God came from, they're absolutely dumbfounded. And the reason is that it makes absolutely no sense. It defies all universal law and logic. It spits in the face of the true living God. They've created a version of God that has an identity. And all you have to do to debunk the concept of identity is simply look within ourselves. All of the answers are within ourselves. The one tool that the true and living God actually gave us to use to measure things with, to measure spiritual things, is within ourselves. To understand where God came from, all we have to do is observe our own mind. To observe a thought coming into our mind and also observing that thought leaving the mind. So use your awareness to look within yourself and to watch a thought appear, and also watch that thought disappear. Here's a key to help you understand the bigger picture. The place where your thoughts come from and the place where your thoughts return are symbolic of where God resides. You see, the place where your thoughts come from are void of identity. You need thoughts to have an identity. There is no identity without thoughts, and your thoughts are your creations. This is what's meant by we are made in the image of God. Because God, or Source, creates the exact same way that we do. We think everything into existence just as God thinks everything into existence. You and me are a thought in the mind of God. All we have to do to know God's thoughts is simply look around and observe the world we live in, because everything that we see was thought into existence and exists in this mind of God that we live in. So just as our thoughts are born in our minds and they die in our minds, going back to the source from which they came, we too are born into the mind of God through a sperm cell, and then as we grow older, we live, we die, and we go back to the source, just like the thoughts in our minds operate. It is all in the image of God, as above, so below, as within, so without. The people who can't understand this or refuse to accept it are simply walking in darkness. They need God to be some image or something outside of themselves in order to make sense of things. They haven't matured yet. They're still walking in darkness. They're full of darkness within. They aren't able to navigate the spiritual world that exists within themselves, because there is no light within themselves. It's this truth and understanding that is the light. It is the way. And it's not about leaning on your own understanding. It's about observing the truth with your own spiritual eyes. It's not about trying to make some kind of logic sense out of it. It's about experiencing it. So, if you found this video edifying or at least entertaining, don't forget to like, leave a comment, share with someone you think might be interested in this type of information. You never know who's looking for these types of answers. I truly appreciate all of the shares and the comments. This is true knowledge of self. This is knowledge of God. Knowledge of God is knowledge of self. This is true gnosis. Y'all stay blessed.